Okay, so this story I'm about to tell you guys is honestly super weird. And I'm not gonna lie to you, the way this ended up happening just made me really uncomfortable. And mom and dad, if you guys are watching this, I just want to apologize. I did not know that this girl was going to do this. But before we get into this, make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Seriously, it means a lot when you guys do. And on top of that, why wouldn't you want to subscribe? These stories get crazier and more unbelievable the more we tell them. So please just click that subscribe button and maybe I will get special help. Please. Anyways, let's just jump straight into this. Anyways, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to a super embarrassing story. So today's story takes place back in my high school year, and this was my grade 12 year. Now, in grade 12, I had a girlfriend. I was dating this girl, and me and her, we were together for almost a year. I say almost a year. We didn't make it to a year, because let's just say after graduation, things didn't really end up working out, but that's not the point. Going on, I remember I was dating this girl, and me and her, we were really close to the point where she would stay at my place a lot, and her staying at my place a lot led to her leaving things and even got to a point where she left a toothbrush. Now, if you guys don't know the toothbrush rule, basically, if a girl leaves a toothbrush at your place, for all the guys watching, or I guess the other way around works too, that usually means that you guys are like linked. Like, it is like almost saying the words, I love you. Leaving like a toothbrush is insane. It's like when a girl gets one of your hoodies, boys. Like, it's just a big deal. So anyways, me being really close to her led to us doing a lot of things together and basically almost living together. My parents were kind of annoyed with it because I'm not gonna lie, my parents weren't the biggest fans of my high school relationships, which I don't blame them. Like, once you get to a point in my life where you have like 142 bodies, and no, I do not mean dead bodies, by the way. I meant bodies that I literally like just like decided to like. Anyways, I remember one time my parents sat me down for dinner and my girlfriend wasn't over, but she was gonna come like later on. She was just on a work shift. And I remember my parents sat me down for dinner and we were talking about how, you know, maybe I should try to save up money and move out. Now, my parents wanting me to move out was kind of weird. And I ended up asking them saying, why would you want me to move out? Son, you're getting really big now and you have a woman with you all the time. It's kind of like very awkward for us. Mom, dad, it's not that weird. She just comes over, stays in my room and just sleeps. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Baba, we know what you do in there. Mom, dad, it's not that big of a deal. I kind of get where my parents were coming from because let's be real here. If you had a son or daughter that was bringing, you know, people home and doing the devil's tango, it kind of makes sense that they would be kind of, well, annoyed. So I remember from there, I ended up telling my parents how I'll stop inviting her over so much and basically talk to her about, you know, maybe, you know, spreading some time out, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, at the time when they told me about this, I remember I did get pretty upset though, because obviously like this was my girlfriend. This was the girl that like I loved, you know what I mean? Like obviously for me, like her coming over was a big deal. So I remember I ended up getting up really upset at the dinner table and I ended up just eating dinner in my room. I was eating dinner in my room, talking to my girlfriend over the phone, and I was just talking to her about, you know, like, you know, her and her work shift, and I didn't really want to think about what my parents were talking to me about. But then I remember later on throughout the day, I want to say like late at night, she ended up coming over at my house around 9 p.m. Now, when my girlfriend at the time would come home from work or come to my place after work, she would be totally exhausted. She would be so exhausted to the point where she doesn't want to talk to anyone. She just wants to go straight to the room and pass out. But for some reason, this night specifically, she was really like energized and she was actually like feeling really good. Anyways, I remember when my girlfriend came over after, she was pretty exhausted, and then I remember she decided to go straight to the bathroom and get ready to take a shower. And me, I remember right as my girlfriend came through the door, my parents were like kind of giving her that annoyed look, like, oh, like you're here again, which I'm not gonna lie, really made me upset. So I ended up basically talking to my parents in the living room as my girlfriend was going upstairs and basically like, you know, getting ready to take a shower. Now, when I went to go talk to my parents, I remember I was telling them how like, you know, don't give her that snarky look, like it's not fair. She's like the love of my life. Like, you guys need to respect her and stuff like that. But then my parents said how maybe she was getting too comfortable being here all the time. And right as I tell my parents, mom, dad, there's no way she's getting that comfortable. Like, she knows the boundaries. My girlfriend at the time ended up coming downstairs from the bathroom with only a towel on and asking me, Bubba, do you want to join me in the shower? You know how embarrassing that was? In front of my parents, bro. Like, imagine your girlfriend or boyfriend ended up butt naked and basically asking you to do the devil's tango in the shower. Like, that's how embarrassing it was. And I remember I looked at her and said, babe, like, you should go back upstairs. And right as she turns around, bloop, her towel drops. So my girlfriend is butt naked, not wearing anything in front of my parents. Literally, my girlfriend flashed my parents, and instead of picking up the towel right away, she decides to like get the towel and just cover up her front area, and she starts running upstairs with her peach jiggling like Oh my goodness, bro. It was so embarrassing. And I remember I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. And honestly, everything that my parents were talking to me about earlier that day in the dinner table, they were right about. And at that point, I remember I had to give her a talk that night about how maybe there's got to be more boundaries and how maybe we should start going to her place more. Yeah, let's just say it led to a lot of arguments. But what can I say? That relationship was done and over with anyway. Anyways, guys, that is basically it for today's story. Make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like I always say, just follow for more embarrassing but crazy stories. Peace out, guys.